Hello everyone, welcome to Stefani's, and in this video I'm bringing back a series due to popular demand, the best sandwich in Vancouver. However, contrary to the other sandwich video I made where I just copied what Vancouver magazine had, this time I'm just going to try a whole bunch of random sandwiches I've heard about. Well, it's also in the morning, so I can also say Gluten Morgen. You know, Guten Morgen, it's German for good morning. Anyways, we are downtown and it's a little bit early, so I think it's ready for our first sandwich, and this one is going to be breakfast related. Also $8 parking, so for 1 hour, better be worth it. Let's go to our first spot. First spot, crack on. This is a breakfast sandwich joint. A lot of the stuff they do is breakfast sandwich related, but they also have some other cool items. I've seen these guys at the farmer's market, and normally there's a little bit of a line. Looks really good. This is a sandwich here. This is called the crack breakfast sandwich. I think this is the sausage one, a bunch of sausage. I think it's like a tomato jam. Of course, the beautiful ruddy yolk and some sourdough bread. Let's take it out of its little pouch. Oh, peppery. Oh, spicy. In the beginning, that sausage is juicy, peppery. Then of course the runny yolk takes over for a kind of creamy finish. And at the end, you get this cool spiciness. It's like a spicy sriracha mayo thing going on. And then of course those pickles, a little bit of acidity just to break into the fatty creaminess. I gotta give it up for that breakfast sausage. I don't know if they make it themselves or if they have a special top secret supplier, but that is an addictive sausage right there. That's a really delicious start, but we have many more sandwiches to try, including a couple more in downtown that we're gonna walk over to. The next spot, we're gonna manja. Okay, well, here we go. I know it says no smoking here, but we have a smoking hot sandwich in our hands. This is the prosciutto and arugula sandwich. So, place called SALTIMBOCCA. It's a food truck owned by Via Taveri, one of the top pizza spots in Vancouver. Something is wet underneath me. Okay, wow. It's okay. Keep calm and soldier on, and also freak out later and take a shower. SALTIMBOCCA normally is veal wrapped, or it's cheese and herbs. I think I forget what kind of herbs, maybe spinach. But normally what you do is you have a very thin piece of veal and then you roll it up. And inside there's cheese and herbs and all that stuff. It's also a type of sandwich from southern Italy, so it's two different things. Literally, SALTIMBOCCA means jump into your mouth. So let's see if this is jump into my mouth worthy. Opening it up right now. The big reveal. Oh, look at that. Okay, so very thin bread. I'm gonna take it out like that. Ugh. Okay, let's see what we got. Open it up. Lots of mayo.
Looks like a panini.
It's a panini. It's pretty much a panini, but you know, without the grill marks from the panini press. So yeah, lots of prosciutto, lots of arugula, and a huge amount of mayo. Originally, I had some sneaking suspicions that there weren't enough ingredients in here. I thought there could have been too much arugula, but not really. First of all, the bread is just pillowy, and also you get that nice char from the outside. Of course, the star of the show is the prosciutto. I thought there was maybe not enough prosciutto, but it's actually a perfect harmony because the prosciutto is very salty, so you really don't want too much of it. And then of course the arugula was just a nice herbaceous finish. The tomato, I don't know if you necessarily need it in there, because the problem is when you put the mayo and the tomato just next to each other, the tomatoes just end up kind of falling out of the sandwich anyways. Still, overall, very solid sandwich. And honestly, for downtown, $13, not a bad price at all. Hashtag E. This place has been here for about 12 years. Speaking to the owner, he started it quite a while ago. Oh, it comes from Montreal. This is a place that's been a little bit under the radar of a lot of social media sites, but it's kind of coming out a little bit more. I've seen it on some TikTok channels. And what's cool is they make their own focaccia bread. They make their own pastrami as well in-house. We did not go for the pastrami though, because there's another sandwich that caught my eye. This is the chicken parm. Woo, look at that. As you saw, I kind of filmed them making it. Some chicken cutlet on there, some sauce, a decent amount of cheese, and of course your focaccia bread right there. That looks pretty damn good. Okay, let's take a bite while it's still hot. Oh yeah, that focaccia is really nice. A bit of a crunch on the outside. The cutlet's tender. Of course, with the tomato sauce on there, you kind of lose a little bit of its crispiness. And the sauce, not too tangy. Some sweetness, and you do get a little hint of the pesto they put on there. And the pesto itself actually doesn't have any nuts, which is kind of interesting. So it's just literally basil, garlic, I think some Parmesan and olive oil. So anybody who doesn't love nuts, well, you can come here. I like nuts though. No, the good one. The ones in, you know, like the pine nuts and stuff. Really one of those sandwiches you want to eat really hot, because, you know, if you let that cool down, it becomes kind of like a bit of a mushy mess. But overall, really good bread. The ingredients are solid. And what's also cool is they have a Japanese pastry chef that comes here every morning, and they make some cool baked goods as well. Okay, how many more sandwiches do we have? A lot. 18, maybe. Most people's favorite banh mi in the city is Banh Mi Saigon, but I think I have a spot that might rival it now. We secured the goods, the number one. This is the typical banh mi, the special one with the pate, the pork, all the good stuff. Yes, there you go. Oh, so of course you have all your, I think this is the head cheese, the bread, which is very crispy, the pork belly, the pate, and of course all your condiments. You have your carrots, your cilantro, all the good stuff. Like I said, this is a place I know really well. I come here all the time, and I think personally it might be my favorite banh mi in the whole city. Yes, Banh Mi Saigon is really good, but I think the flavors here just hit a little bit harder. Let's take a big bite, big old crunch. Gets me every time. I'm not even hungry, but I will literally just eat this whole thing right now. If you ain't got no crumbs on your belly, then you're doing it all wrong. Just crusty. Those insides are just so delicious. I mean, you have all the pork food groups. You have the head cheese, you have the pate, you have the ham, you have the pork belly in perfect balance with the crispy vegetables, of course the pickled vegetables on top of that, and of course the last thing you have to do is get a little bit of that spiciness to finish it all off. In my last video in the Vancouver magazine, they had La Grotta del Formaggio as the best meatball sub they've tried. Well, I completely disagree. The best meatball sub in all of Vancouver is here. AJ's Brooklyn Pizzeria, and you can see very quickly why. Look at this bad boy, just a giant piece of baguette, three giant meatballs. There also should be some mozzarella cheese on the bottom, and I think there's some pepperoncinos in there as well. Honestly, I'll even come here just for the meatball sub because it is that amazing. I've had this probably 10 times, and there are weeks I literally think about this meatball sub, and it's an addiction. I love it. Okay, let's cut it in half and then let's try it out. Let me compose myself. There's so many good things about this sandwich. Meatball is just tender AF. The sauce a little bit spicy. The bread is perfect. It's crispy. It holds all the sauce inside. If that's not good enough, then you have some pepperoncinos, which add a little bit more spiciness. And then that gooey, delicious mozzarella at the bottom. It's just a flavor symphony. And like those meatballs. I mean, look how freaking gigantic those meatballs are. That's not enough. Then you have, I think they kind of rub some garlic on the bread. So it's pretty much a garlic baguette with giant meatballs, amazing sauce, bunch of mozzarella. They had a little bit of extra olive oil and some grated Parmesan cheese. Easily the best meatball sub in the whole city. We have ventured upstream on Kingsway Street, and we have two spots pretty much next to each other that I wanted to try. While we're waiting for our order for the other spot, which is fairly full, we came over here. This place is called Happy Day Cafe, Hong Kong style food. Now, they do have some really solid dishes, but there's one thing that's super unique, and I tried once and it was pretty mind-blowing. They have pineapple bun sandwiches. Perfect, thank you. Oh, there you go. Okay, this is the one I'm excited about. So look at that. I mean, how is that not absolutely stunning? This is a pineapple bun, of course, the Hong Kong staple. You have a giant piece of luncheon meat, egg, and look at the butter. Look at these. Literally, it's like an eighth of a slab of butter just toppled on top, and it's so big and melty that the top bun is struggling to stay on top. You know what this needs, right? Sexy music. Oh. Oh.
So fatty.
Oh my god. Okay, anyways, let's eat this. How can that not be good? I mean, come on. It's literally just a pineapple bun with a giant slab of Spam, yolky egg, and actually the egg, look at that. The egg is nice and runny, and then whole heaping Everest mountain of butter that is just melted onto everything. I think last time I had it, it was a little bit crispier, so maybe it was, I guess, more of an enjoyable experience. This is still very enjoyable, but I was kind of hoping that pineapple bun would be a little bit more crispy. But overall, it's so delectable. It's everything your heart doesn't want, but deep inside your brain, you want this. This is your dopamine. This is your breakfast sandwich of champions. It is definitely a happy day, for sure. JOOJAK, one of my favorite spots in the whole city, Xi'an style food. The next sandwich we're gonna try is probably, well, it's called a burger, but it's kind of a sandwich in my opinion, and it is a Xi'an specialty. It's called the Xi'an pork burger. Xi'an food, probably some of my favorite Chinese food out there. So we have their two sandwiches there. We also have the Xi'an cold noodles. Now this is a trick I learned from Mikey Chen. I'm an avid watcher. One of the first videos I ever watched was of him in Vancouver trying this Xi'an spot, and honestly it might have been one of the videos that really got me thinking about doing some food vlogging, and it only took the pandemic to get me started. And what he did is he got Xi'an pork burgers, but he also got something on the side which you can dip your Xi'an pork burger into, and this is your Xi'an pork, or sorry, these are your Xi'an cold noodles with sesame paste, and of course you have your chili oil and I think some vinegar at the bottom there. Oh yeah, oh yes, oh look at that. This is where the magic happens. Xi'an pork burger right here. Now, a good sign of the Xi'an pork burger is you want the crispy kind of top layer. It can't be too soggy, and of course, filled with delicious pork. You can try to eat this by itself, but you really want that chili oil sauce with it. So I'm gonna try it first, just like this, and then the magic happens when you dip it in there. Gets me every time. Succulent pork, pretty tender, and really that bun, it's just so toasty, almost cracker-like, but you do get a very nice chew, and it just holds all those porky juices inside. That one bite might have won the whole sandwich challenge. Just numbingly delicious, porky, a little bit of vinegar in there. Perfect balance of every single flavor on a sandwich. Burger, sandwich, whatever it is, it's friggin' delicious. Also, some chili oil might have gone into my cast.
Ew.
That's a definite ew, or yum. Next spot on this sandwich is for veggie lovers. Now, normally, you know, a lot of these sandwiches are meat, but I thought I'd at least try one thing that was veggie. And this one is quite a very delicious sandwich. I have tried it before. Actually, where was I? I think I was in North Vancouver, and there was a random kind of summer festival going on, and walking by the kind of food court, food truck area, I noticed this spot, an Israeli vegetarian joint, maybe vegan, not quite sure. And that sandwich that I had was pretty outstanding. So this is a fried oyster mushroom on challah bread, and inside there is some harissa mayo and I think some pickles as well. Oh, yeah, that's as good as I remember it. It did cool down a little bit when I drove back here. It was not quite as crispy as the first time I tried it, but those oyster mushrooms, just so meaty, perfectly crispy, and the seasoning is just on point. It's perfection. There's a little bit of spice, and what's cool is they've also added some pickles. It's just a perfect balance of every component. The very soft challah bread as well adds a tiny bit of sweetness, but also it's very fluffy and airy. I think what I have to do now, though, is put some of that amazing looking hummus on there. Hopefully it's as amazing as it looks. There's definitely a whole bunch of tahini in the middle. Oh, that's a really serious hummus. That's maybe one of the top ones I've had in the city. Very, very smooth, but then just a whole heaping, like, center full of tahini in there. And because of that, you get the extra nuttiness. Montreal smoked meats. Where can you find a good one in Vancouver? Well, you can't. You have to come all the way out to Langley to this next joint. And this joint might be my favorite Montreal smoked meat in the whole area. Yeah, ESTRELLA'S Deli. Normally order one sandwich at each spot, but for some reason we ordered two things because they had the Montreal smoked meat, and then I saw the Reuben on there, and I love Reubens. I also have a best friend called Reuben. Will I like the sandwich more than my best friend? Well, let's find out. Blam, we have our two sandwiches. We got the large for both, and I think it's well worth it. This is the Montreal smoked meat coming in two just barely, I mean, the pieces of bread are kind of just holding the meat barely though. Look at that. Oh, huge amount of Montreal smoked meat inside, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and we asked for the medium fatty cut, so you can get lean or medium. Lean, why would you even do that? Probably not your friend if you're gonna choose lean. I don't think I even had bread in that bite. Just huge amount of meat, very thinly cut. You can tell there's a little bit of fatty parts, but overall, when you're ordering the medium, especially in the case of this sandwich, it's still fairly lean. I've had fattier Montreal smoked meats in my life. Personally, I do like Montreal smoked meat. Mine a little bit more fatty, but doesn't take away that this is easily, for me, the best smoked meat sandwich in all of Vancouver. And you still do get some fatty bites, which is really good. This Reuben sandwich looks outstanding. I mean, look at that. It's like a yin and yang of meat. Perfectly partitioned by the sauerkraut. On this one, you're gonna have some Swiss cheese, and of course the toasted panini style bread. I think this is rye bread as well. Might be the best Reuben in the whole area too. I might enjoy Reuben sandwiches even more than Montreal smoked meat, just because you do get a little bit more balance. The acidity's in the sandwich itself. You don't have to rely on the pickle, the extra mustard, and of course the cheese. I mean, there's cheese on there. I mean, how is that not better? Burning question, which I asked before, do I like this Reuben more than my friend Reuben? Yes, yes I do. There is another spot that's been making a splash in this area, and this one has a cool history behind it. So let's go there now. Pretend to walk away. Oh, look, I'm over there. In 1762, John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich, was playing poker. As the story goes, he was playing cards and did not want to leave the gaming table to eat. He He asks for a serving of roast beef to be placed between 2 slices of bread so he could eat with his hands. Fast forward into 2004, and John Montague the Lord, the 11th Earl of Sandwich, decided to open a franchise that would serve sandwiches, and it has now spread all over the US. I think he teamed up with the Planet Hollywood person, the CEO, and here you go. So very popular chain in the US, and they finally expanded it to Canada, and we have the sandwiches here. Anyways, that was a long-winded story. Once again, since this is a long drive, we thought we'd take advantage of it and order 2 sandwiches. We have the original, very nicely and compacted into this little, oh, look at that, it's kind of cute. Now, actually, the sandwiches here are fairly cheap compared to other sandwiches that we've had on this video, except for the banh mi, of course. Delicious banh mi. Anyways, so this is the original. This is some roast beef. I think there's some cheese. What else is there? I don't know. There's other stuff. I didn't really look. Roast beef, when I was thinking of roast beef, I was thinking of the sliced roast beef, but this does look definitely more like a chopped cheese. Ooh, kind of juicy though, look at that. Oh yeah. Not bad. Very slight horseradish taste. The beef is kind of like chopped up. I would like a little bit of like an acidic element. I don't think there's any mustard on this too. I will say I'm very impressed with the bread though. The bread, very toasty, still a bit airy. But like I said, I think it does need something. It's missing a little something. Kind of confusing in the beginning. Do taste the stuffing quite a bit. It's kind of just sandwiched in between all that ham, and it's a little bit gooey and kind of mushy. I do kind of wish it would have been like just cut up turkey. That would have been kind of cool. Reminds you a little bit more of the kind of Thanksgiving sandwich you have after with all the leftovers. However, it's still pretty solid. I'm not a huge fan of the stuffing though. I think the stuffing tastes maybe a little bit plasticky. Overall, Earl sandwich, it's all right. Would I drive all the way here from Vancouver to eat this? Definitely not. Are hot dog sandwiches? I don't know, but for this video, I'm gonna say they are. Also, we just got into a heated debate with the owners, and they think tacos could also be sandwiches. Also, hot dogs could be tacos. The debate rages on. Let me know, is a hot dog a sandwich? Personally, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst take. You know, worst because it's a bratwurst. Anyways, this place is fairly new. And they are specializing not only in bratwursts and different flavors, but also tacos. They have some carnitas tacos, which was very tempting, which could also be a sandwich. Bratwurst sausage, bacon, some chili stuff going on, and lots of cheese, maybe some aioli. And of course, the most important thing, sesame bun. Oh Lord. First of all, look at the cheese. I mean, holy Lord, that bratwurst is just bursting with cheddar cheese. Super juicy. A lot of bacon. The chili is a little bit smoky too. Overall, oh my Lord, it's a bit of a mess. That's also pretty good. But wow, it's just fully loaded. What really stands out to me is how juicy that bratwurst is. And then, yeah, just chili, some crispy stuff. And the chili's actually really good too. And bacon. It's bacon. I'm not gonna complain. Overall, really good bratwurst. I mean, really the highlight here is the sausage. Next spot. It's pretty close by too. Another one up for the sandwich debate, gyros. Is that a sandwich? I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of a wrap, but it's a wrap a sandwich. Wrap's kind of like a taco. Taco could be like a sandwich. Apparently a hot dog is also like a taco, and a hot dog could be a sandwich. This spot is called Skewers, and before this spot came along, you couldn't really find good gyros in Vancouver. Luckily, this place is now here, and easily my favorite gyro in the whole city. We got the pork one, and what's really unique about the gyro, of course, is the fries, and you have the tzatziki, lots of the roasted grilled pork on there, and of course all the accoutrements, the onions, the tomatoes, maybe even a little bit of tomato sauce in there. Other thing I wanted to say is, yes, it is gyro. That's right, I looked it up. I even pressed the little Google sound icon so it would make the noise for me. This one's a little bit hard to eat. What I like to do personally is to grab the fries and it's already kind of dipping into the tzatziki. Try the fries first. Oh. The thing I love about this gyro is that the tzatziki itself is insanely garlicky. It's not a gyro if you don't have a little shmush on your nose. The big factor for this one is, first of all, the pork has a little bit of char, it's tender, and then the extra garlickiness from that sauce. Overall, just very nicely seasoned meat, and then that tzatziki just takes over everything, and it's just extra garlicky, super flavorful, fresh veggies, crushed from the onions, and the pita itself is also toasted, so just a warm, comforting bite, and it's pretty big. And honestly, for the price, you're doing pretty well here. How many more sandwiches do we have to try in this video? Not that many more, but there's still a couple more. Stay with me to the end, 20% of the viewers that stuck it out. Anyways, next spot. Super Fuzzy Puppy commented, "No Railtown?" And I was like, what's in Railtown? He's like, "Railtown Cafe. Those sandwiches are gas, brother." Well, they're not gas, they're bread, but yeah, I got one of the sandwiches that's here. Railtown Cafe, actually never been. Looked inside, pretty impressed. Lots of sandwich options, and as well, like a giant salad bar. I got a sandwich that I probably would normally not buy, but it kind of caught my eye. It's a salmon sandwich. Now, in my opinion, salmon salad sandwiches might be one of the most underrated sandwiches ever. I make them all the time. I really enjoy them. So that's why this one caught my eye. Also, I thought maybe I'd have one seafood option, you know, because most of this sandwich video has been meat. But anyways, here we go. Poached salmon salad. I think there's a whole bunch of arugula on there. Lots of tomatoes. It looks very healthy. There's also a niçoise mix. I do see the olives. I will say they grabbed 2 giant scoops of the salmon salad. They plopped it on, but then looking at the sandwich, it doesn't really look like that much. There's pesto on the bottom though. Okay, it's a good sandwich. Actually, all the veggies are really good. You can taste the pesto, you can taste the veggies, lots of textures, crunch. The big gripe is you don't taste the salmon. The salmon is kind of lost in all those veggies. You taste the veggies more than you do taste the salmon, so I do wish they could give you a little bit, maybe a 1/3 scoop of that salmon salad. Is it $15 worth? I don't know. I'd knock a couple bucks off of that, make it 12. But yeah, I mean, it's delicious and lots of pesto. They really loaded the pesto. Still very tasty though, even though you don't really taste the salmon. Panaderia Latina, really one of my favorite spots. I never think about it until I drive by and I'm like, oh my God, Panaderia Latina. So I quickly come back and I stop, and I always try to get something there because they really have cool stuff. It's a bakery, so lots of baked items. I see people coming out there with great looking cakes, and kind of like a grocery store too. I think they're Chilean because I saw a whole bunch of Chilean flags. They have the completo, which is also a Chilean hot dog. I originally got the churrasco because when I was looking on Google Maps, it shows churrasco as one of the first choices. So I ordered the churrasco not knowing that that's just the meat. And then I saw there's a churrasco palta, I think, and that has the avocado as well as the tomatoes. I'm like, oh, okay. So literally quickly asked them to change the order if possible, and then they were very nice, of course, with a $2 surcharge. As soon as you open it, you smell the freshly baked bread because I'm pretty sure they do bake the bread here. Okay, let's try it out. No more delaying this first bite. Oh, that bread makes all the difference. I think really that might be the highlight of the whole sandwich. I think this bread maybe came out of the oven about an hour ago, so it's still a little bit warm. You can tell it has that kind of fresh out of the oven taste. I think getting the avocado and the tomato is a very good call. The meat is pretty decent. It's not like the most tender meat in the world. It has a bit of chew, but the avocado provides a bit of acidity. I think they've mixed it in with some citrus. On the tomato, some freshness. And yeah, I think without those 2 condiments, it would have been maybe a little bit dry. However, in Chilean cuisine, they do love their mayonnaise, and that is apparent on this sandwich too. There is literally probably a good liter of mayonnaise on this whole sandwich. You know what would really completo this sandwich? Man, would be some kind of hot sauce. Some kind of pickled, maybe pickled jalapeno, pickled pepper. or some kind of hot sauce on there. I think that would really make the sandwich 100%. But overall, I mean, really the highlight of the sandwich is the bread. The bread is just outstanding. It's fluffy, it's crispy on the outside, and you can tell it's just been freshly made today. And there we go. That will be the conclusion of our second sandwich video of Vancouver. Favorite sandwiches in this one? First one, meatball sub from AJ's. Whew, man, I don't think you can get a better meatball sub in the whole city. Is this a sandwich? I don't know, but I'm gonna choose also the Chinese Xi'an pork burger. It's a burger, but it's also a sandwich. I'm just gonna call it a sandwich, and just get the side of the bian bian noodles and then dip it in that chili sauce. And then the third one, I think you gotta go with the Reuben from ESTRELLA'S. That Reuben was just perfectly constructed. Very meaty. We did order the big, but I mean, if you're gonna order a Reuben, why would you order a medium? Just get the extra meat. Let me know if you have other sandwich spots in mind. If this series ends up being fairly popular, I will make a third video. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon so we can notify you of future videos, and of course, hit us up with those comments. I'll see you soon. Ciao for now.